guys, what's up? I am the Stormchild.
I'm Phil.
This is Phil, yes. So
Still Phil.
Still Phil. And we continue our journey into history of the Nightwish albums. And today we're gonna do
The big one.
The big one they're talking about. Of course, the Wishmaster album, for us, the very first Nightwish album ever. That's the funny thing, that we started with the same album, with the same song.
Well, the first song on the record.
Yeah, but yeah, it is this way. And the funny thing is, we haven't known us at this time.
No, we didn't know it.
And we just found it out.
We didn't know us. We didn't know each other, Baba. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. And it was just funny because when we met the first time and we talked about Nightwish, we recognized that.
yeah,
And this is pretty cool because we had the same experience, and that
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and this is pretty cool, and we will talk, I think, a lot about it, because this is for me, I think,
A life changer.
a life changer, and in every direction, it was one of the coolest music experience in my life for me, because I was 13 years old at this time, and yeah, in this age you just figure out what you like and didn't like, and I was not so into the metal world or something, never heard this, and I was there by a friend, and he had this CD, and it was just like love from the very first second. This was so... I haven't known that there is music existing like this.
Yeah.
And
I still remember vividly the exact moment I listened to this record for the first time.
It was it was just like I heard the music, and it was just like, oh, this is so great. And then Taya started to sing, and it was just like, okay, it's done, it's over.
Yeah.
And
Like, get out of here. It was just It was just too much.
it was too much.
I remember exactly. I was sitting at a friend's on his bed.
I
actually.
remember if it was yesterday.
No Jim Steinman here. Baby. And we were playing Mortal Kombat Trilogy on PlayStation 1. And I remember the level and the characters we selected, and this song came up. And I actually had to pause the game because I fell in love immediately with this voice that I didn't know the face to. And it was just love at first hearing,
Yeah.
not sight hearing.
Yeah.
And it actually felt like falling in love. So that was my first contact with Nightwish. And
You were addicted from the very first second.
yes, true that. And he had to pirate this record for me immediately. I wanted to take it home with me that day,
Yeah.
which took a long time to do back in the day. It was expensive and time-consuming to copy CDs back in the day.
Yeah, it's really annoying to looking back, but also really...
Especially, the most annoying part about it was it was copying in real time. So it took you, I don't know what the runtime of this record is,
50,
but
60 minutes,
something like that. So it took that amount of time to get the record onto the computer, and the same amount of time to get it back on a CD. Yeah. So that was, let's say, roughly estimated 1.5 to 2 hours that I could not listen to this record, which was hard to do. It was hard to do.
Yeah, and I think that CD was my CD player, I think, for a month.
At least.
It was crazy.
Back in the day, Discmen were a thing.
Oh, the best thing that ever created in human history for my youth. It was
except the fact that I didn't have one with a, I don't know what the fuck that thing was even called, but that the CD wouldn't skip like while walking. I had to carry it around as if I was holding the Holy Grail, just so so it wouldn't skip like all the time. So it was horrible.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, because at one time I had a portable disc player.
Yeah.
And this was one from a very cheap discounter. It's discounter also in English, and it was really cheap, and it was
Mine too.
best I've ever had
Mine wasn't.
And it was crazy because after that, one of my sisters, I think, had a gift for birthday or Christmas or something, and I think it was really expensive, and
Yeah.
it didn't work at well. And I went back to this cheap thing, and when I had an accident with my bike, and I just fell on that CD player, and then it was broken, and that was a sad
And
moment.
left you heartbroken.
Yeah, and CD player broken. So yeah, but this CD, and this is the original CD I bought. I have so many editions, but this is the original. And I went to the CD store and I was shocked looking by the album cover. Because I have a new metal album covers or something. I didn't know how the band looks. I just know the music.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what I've expected. But and that was also the first time I was in the hard and heavy section of the CD store. That was really, I think, the first time. And I was just shocked seeing this album cover.
Hey, I hear you. I had the same experience.
it was...
It's just a weird cover still to this day. I mean, I've grown to love it, but at first I was really repulsed by it because it was just, come on, there's a naked baby on the cover. I mean...
Yeah, and also...
Is the kid naked?
No,
it's
no.
not. Oh, it's not even a baby, it's a young boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just...
why? I think the only weak thing about the album is the cover in comparison to other Nightwish covers.
And the band pictures.
Yeah, but I can remember it was just like, and they're making so great music and it looks like this. Now I like the cover because...
Yes, of course, you've grown accustomed to it.
Yeah, of course. But it was just shocking. But then I went to the CD store and bought also the Oceanborn Ain't Angel for first album at that point because I haven't knew that they have other CDs. I have no idea. And then if you watch the other videos, that was strange to listen it back in time.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it took a little longer because again I didn't have a lot of money. That's an understatement. I had no money whatsoever at all. So at first, back in the day, my only option was to get the CDs copied by a friend, and he didn't have the other records yet. So I had to wait for him to get those records to pirate me a copy. And so I had to wait for the other albums for at least, let's say, I don't know, half a year. Maybe it was only 3 months, but it felt like an eternity.
Yeah. I think for many people who are watching who are younger and watching my videos, which is great, I think it sounds so strange in this streaming world today with Spotify and YouTube and everything that you
there
have
was no Spotify or YouTube.
There were nothing. It was, and it is cool that in the days that you have the opportunity to listen to more music, but I think it's also a bit negative because there's so many bands and music.
Yeah.
And
it's just overflowing.
It's overflooding, and
especially since, you know, back in the day when we got a new CD on our shelves, we listened to it till we knew the record in and out.
And even we bought a CD that we didn't like.
Yeah.
So because we both are people who bought CDs by just watching at the cover, and you just have to love it because you just paid your money for it. So
your pocket money.
You have to love it. It doesn't matter if it was good or bad.
Yeah, and there's plenty of records that I nowadays consider shit.
Yeah.
But I loved back in the day because you had to. You had to.
It's
but
crazy.
with this exceptional record, it was the exception, because we just, or at least I, loved it from the very first second. And long time before I bought the actual album, I had it as a pirated copy, and I knew the record in and out. And again, internet was scarce back in the day, and even if you had a connection to the internet, it took forever to load a single page. So I didn't even bother looking up what the band looks like. It was just too much effort going into it, and I just wanted to listen to the music, which I'm still a fan of to this day. to let the music speak for itself and not be too concerned about what's behind it or who's behind it. And funnily enough, on this record, there is a statement backing me up. It's in That Boy's poem.
Yeah.
What's the line exactly? It's like, when you read this line, remember not the hand that wrote it.
Yes.
Yeah, is it that? It's exactly that. Like, appreciate the music, and the rest is secondary. Yeah, it's like,
but that is nearly impossible nowadays.
Yeah,
because you get just spammed by everything so fast.
Yeah, but still, I still go to the record stores and search for new music there.
Yeah,
it's like, why should I look it up on the internet and hardly ever something good comes out of that because you're so biased by a music video? It's like oftentimes music videos are distracting you from the music.
That's true. I mean, I know it because I have a reaction channel, and it's sometimes it's just like when you don't like the faces of the band, and that happens. That you just don't think that the song is good, but you don't like the faces.
Yeah.
Without knowing them, people, it's stupid. I know, but it has this feeling that you can't like the song because just seeing who performs it.
No.
I don't know why. It's I think a stupid thing.
And the other way around. Oftentimes you're like, yeah, that's a cool song, whereas in reality you only like the video or the people being in the video because they're, I don't know, charismatic or just...
Many examples for that.
Yeah.
But now I think we started it with a Wishmaster album, and the first song we talked about now,
of course.
She's My Sin, life changer, and still
a great track.
Still a great track. Every time I listen to it, I don't have the same feeling, but I have this nostalgia moments that I remember the feeling.
And it never grows old.
No, it is still...
It's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's so great. And
because I just can remember so vividly how it felt to it's just,
impossible to have.
We're a little bit biased when it comes to this record. I don't think we can be like neutral on this record.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
But She's My Sin is just one hell of an opening track. It's just...
And also the whole sound that from the whole album.
Yeah, and the sound is just... I mean, 5 minutes ago when we were having a cigarette break, I told him it's the most Nightwish album out there. Because this is the record, I think they found their sound or their style.
Yeah.
It's like, this is when Nightwish became Nightwish as we know them today.
Yes.
And on the later installments of the Nightwish catalog, they only try to enhance that formula and build on top of it.
Yeah.
So this is the Nightwish formula as we know it today in its purest form.
Yeah, I think that's perfect how you say it, because the sound is so cool and everything I felt in love about Nightwish. As you know, I talked about so many things in so many videos, especially of the keyboard sounds, and I think that is the best keyboard sounds.
Yeah,
and
period.
It's so amazing.
And it's so rich. I mean, this is a fat sounding record.
Yeah.
It's so massive with so little of production behind it. No, the production probably not, but with so little elements. Like, this is the last record without any real orchestral bits and pieces on there, and it still sounds so big and massive.
Yeah, and everything is on the point.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. From the whole sound is still, when I listen to it...
Well, the album is not perfect.
No, but the sound. The sound. It is just... we talk in the next video about Century Child because I love the sound there more, but from a different standpoint.
Yeah.
So overall, for the Nightwish sound, this is my favorite Nightwish sound album from just, especially from the keyboards, because that is so great. On the Century Child, it is something completely different, and there are a lot of things.
But it's probably the best sounding Nightwish record.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, Century Child is probably the best sounding Nightwish record.
For me also, because it's my favorite album. I can tell you that. Also.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
But I can totally agree on this as being the epitome of Nightwish song.
Yeah, and I just the keyboards, especially were used so perfect.
It's sick.
And so
and he chose so. You know, the sounds he chose for each song are just so fitting. There went a lot of thought process into what sound am I going to use with the limited amount of them that I have. So
and that is really difficult.
Yeah, but because later on it got easier and easier and easier. It was like, yeah, well, orchestra. That was the universal answer to the question, what sound shall we use?
Yeah.
But especially the little bell sounds he uses a lot on this record.
A lot, and I love it.
Yeah, it's just... Come on, he's a keyboardist. So what's wrong about using keyboard sounds?
Yeah.
It's like if you put everything that he's writing on an orchestra, well, what do you need him for then on stage?
And it's a bit like that. It feels a bit also.
I mean, no offense, but you know, it's you know.
I know exactly because I'm, as you may know, my keyboarder myself. And what you say about choosing the sounds, this is really difficult because you have a few hundred sounds.
Yeah.
Maybe he had thousands. It doesn't matter. But just figuring out.
Yeah, which one to use.
And that is so difficult because you play the same melody in 200 different sounds to figure it out, and this is really difficult. And especially when She's My Sin kicked in, you just have the feeling that it's perfect from the very first second.
Yeah.
It's just like so great. With also I like the kicking of the first chorus with this little pause in it that makes it so special. On the second chorus they have this drum fill in between, but that fits in this good songwriting.
Yeah, it's just well written.
But this first kick in is just like wow. It's unbelievable, great song, and also a song I 100% prefer the Taya version, the original version. That's the version I felt in love. I don't like the live version with Floor. I have to.
Have you shown me the other version?
I
with
think
Floor?
it's on the Wacken DVD. I think you've watched it.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, maybe. But it's just like it's not an objective thing because this is where I fell in love.
Well, I don't people are gonna hate me for that, but I don't remember the Floor version even. It's like
okay, but for me. Yeah, there's no question, but we don't have to talk about that.
Well, the entire album. I'm sorry, but the album is perfect as it is.
Yes.
So, and if something is perfect, you cannot better that.
No.
There is nothing better than perfect.
No chance.
So, whatever they do with Flo Jansen, and she's a great singer, and nobody doubts that ever. To make that statement crystal clear, she's a great singer, but there is no such thing as better than perfect.
Oh. No chance.
And this record is, to me, perfect.
Yeah. Also, the second track, the Kinslayer, which started a bit like She's My Sin, just from the rhythm, which was in the first listening like, okay, strange, but nothing bad.
It resolves perfectly fine.
And Kinslayer is an interesting song, and they play it still today, which is cool because I think it's a great live number. Every time it's fun to listen to it, watch it, and I think it's a lot of fun to play.
Even though it's one of the songs that I find to be weaker in comparison to the rest of the record. It's like not every time when I'm in the mood for Nightwish, I listen to this track. Like sometimes I skip it.
Yeah.
Even though there's one bit in there that I really like. Kill your friends, I don't care. It's just something about the way Taya sang it that is just so cute. Yeah. It's just cute. It's somehow off. It's like it's odd. The way she sings it is weird, but it's just cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not my favorite track on the record.
But still well written.
But it true that, and it was one of my favorite songs when I first listened to the album.
Yeah.
Because it stands out. It's so different.
Yeah. Just also from the structure and everything.
Yeah.
And Really great also with these spoken words were really great with the rhythm. So cool. A great song. So and for me also it was not a song that is getting old or something. I listened to it again.
Well, if you listen to it thrice in a row,
That's a different thing, but for me it's not that I was ever annoyed or something by
No.
it. It was
no, because you just don't listen to it.
yeah.
That like on a continuous loop, you just don't do that.
But also in the first listening back in the days,
Well, it stood
was,
out as fuck.
unbelievable.
I mean, come on. First 3 tracks, She's My Sin, Kinslayer, and then Come Cover Me. It's like you get 3 different things to choose from.
Yeah.
It's like it's the variation is there. I mean, you can clearly tell that it's from the same. It's in the same vein, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still different enough to
Make it interesting.
to make it interesting.
So Come Cover Me was never one of my favorite tracks.
It wasn't one of mine.
It was. It is a good, beautiful song.
Yeah.
But there were just other numbers that were just better for me.
Well, when I first started listening to this record, it was one of my favorites,
Yeah.
which changed over the years ever so slightly. Now I consider it to be one of the weaker tracks of the record. By the way, weaker tracks of this record means still I hold it in high regards. Yeah. All right. I still love it to this day. But my opinion on that song changed a bit over the years.
Yeah. Also on the Decades tour or something, and that was also a song I'd chosen another one for it.
Yeah, you could easily replace it with a better track.
Yeah, that's my point. But still a great track, and it has to be on the album, and I've never skipped it, I think.
Never.
So yeah, but then a great track. I have done a reaction video for that a few weeks ago. I'm talking about Wonderlust. Also one of my favorites in the first listening, and still, and maybe you saw that reaction video that I've
It's
listened
still
to.
growing on me.
Yeah.
The more I listen to it, the more I like it. And over a time span of, let's say, 20 years now.
Yeah.
Like, it is still growing on me. The song is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and I had this experience on my reaction video because there were, I think 1 or 2 years I haven't listened to it, and then I've done it here on my channel, and I just recognized again every time that this is so a great song. It was just like, yeah, I knew it, especially also this kick in the chorus. It's not the end.
Yeah.
This is so great.
Yeah, it just makes you want to jump up and either dance or work out or do whatever the fuck. But it's just one of those get your ass out of your seat songs. Like,
Absolutely.
I can only imagine what it would feel like to be on a Nightwish concert when this song is being played. It's like this must be a ridiculous feeling when the crowd goes nuts, because for damn sure they will go nuts.
But the funny thing is, I think they haven't played it since 20 years. I think they only played it on the Wishmaster tour.
Pity.
It's really underrated. Really underrated song. Also, I can remember hearing it by the first time that the intro was a bit difficult, because it was just like this keyboard and guitar melody. It was just like, because the other songs were so different, and it was just like, okay, what's going on? And then with the chorus, it was just like, okay, I love it, and now I don't have problems with the intro or something. It was just like the first listening, it was just like, okay, after
maybe
the
you
fourth,
have to get used to it in a way.
Absolutely. But a great track also with great structure, songwriting, absolutely creative thing, beautiful melodies.
Especially with the rhythm of the singing rhythm. It's just like, it'll be forever, never, 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 lost. It's like, and then it resolves in this section.
Yeah.
It's it's mad.
Yeah.
And I don't think they ever did anything even similar to that afterwards.
I don't think so too. this is pure magic.
It is, and I don't think that it would be possible to recreate that.
No way. It's just like exactly the feeling of this time.
Yeah.
So great. Then the ballad, "Two for Tragedy," which is really beautiful.
It is.
It is.
But it is a skippable track.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The song has its strengths and weaknesses, and it depends on your mood. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're in the mood for the track, it's the
Amazing.
perfect track for that. But if you're not in that particular mood,
it's difficult.
It's
but
difficult.
I think there's also a ballad problem overall. That when you're just so hyped with the songs before, and then the ballad is beautiful.
It's kind of a downer.
Which
the record really needed.
Absolutely.
So speaking of which, the track list, like the order in which the songs are put, is just perfect. Because after a high like Wonderlust, you need to calm down for a bit.
Yeah.
And especially with the ending of the song, when it kicks in for Wishmaster.
That's insane.
It makes the song Wishmaster even bigger than
Yes,
it already
because it's
is.
like a bit of, not like an intro, but it has a bit like this feeling.
Yeah.
And Wishmaster, the album track, it's absolutely cool when this big starting, and I know Thomas was
a dentist, hard porn, Steven Seagal.
Yeah, maybe you know this version. This is funny, but I know that Thomas was annoyed about this song and haven't played it live again because he had played it on every concert since 2011 or something, and then he really kicked it out of the set list. But he brought it back then the next tour, so maybe he missed it.
Well, it's probably a fan favorite and righteously so, because it's just a good song.
Yeah, and it's just a big part of history because it was a long time though.
I think a lot of people. I mean, it's impossible that we're the only ones that got to know Nightwish with this record. So I think a lot of people got into Nightwish with the Wishmaster album.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on, it's the title track and it's a good one.
And also it was for the Wishmaster and Century Child tour the last track on the concert. So it was really a high important song for the whole band. And so yeah, also a number I listen also every time I like it, I listen to it. It's just like
it doesn't get old.
No, it's just a great song and so cool written, great melodies and great guitar work also.
And I bet my ass that it's fucking hard to sing that song live.
Yeah, we knew someone who tried it, but we don't have to talk about that. And but it is, a great song. And every time they play,
no doubt about that.
Yeah, every time they play live, I'm absolutely fan in the crowd.
And again, speaking of great structuring of the track list.
Oh yeah.
Here comes a filler again before we kick in with the killer. Bad Gray's Misery. It's a wonderful track. I like it a lot. But again, not the strongest one on the record.
No.
So, again, the song has strengths and weaknesses. But overall, again, this is just talking this record.
Yeah.
It's that high already in my ranking. But, it's like there was a little headroom.
Yeah.
But this song left a little headroom.
But also how the song is written with this great intro, and then it goes into the verses with this cool keyboard melody.
Which is the best bit of the song.
Yeah, definitely.
Those little bells or whatever it's called, or celestials is probably the keyboard sound for it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's so quiet in the mix.
Yeah.
And it's just bass, drums, of course, vocals, and those soft bells on the keyboard.
Works so well.
It's just, And by the way, this is a sound you will never get out of a real orchestra. You will never ever get that.
Yeah.
Because even if you had real bells, they would sound differently because it is a keyboard sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what's making this record so specific, if you will.
Yeah.
So we can pinpoint to it and say, this is the keyboard sounds we like, because there's plenty other of those keyboard sounds.
Yeah.
But sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes I prefer the synthetic sound over the real thing.
Yeah.
Hardly ever. But, you know, it's keyboard music. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole band backing it up, but the songs were written on keyboard mostly, except probably the song you told me earlier.
No, it was just like what I know. Ampu had these riff ideas, and I think Thomas put it
By
together.
the way, great riffs. On this
Yeah,
track.
and also, but the greatest part about this song, without no doubt, is this is the best part of the song. This is so cool, and I have to do it every time I listen to the song. I can't resist it. It's just like you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, great idea.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It's a
You
perfect
can,
transition.
and you can hear Taya doing this
Yeah.
through her voice, and this
I
is,
don't even think it's a sigh. I just think she was breathing loudly.
I don't know, but it's just perfect,
Yeah,
and
it's-
it's so cool because it's so unique, and for this you remember the song also.
Yeah.
It is because
Well, I remember the song for a lot of things.
yeah, but this is the first thing I think about when I think about the song.
To me, it's really the chorus,
Okay,
but for the wrong reasons.
okay,
Because I always thought that the chorus doesn't hold up with the rest of the song.
yeah.
The chorus is the weakest bit of
yeah,
the track,
That's true.
which is, you know, it happens.
It happens.
Some of my favorite songs from other bands have the same issue. Like To Hell and Back Again from Saxon, for example, is my prime example for verses are better than the chorus.
Yeah,
If you know the track, you know what I'm talking about. And same thing here, but, you know, again, my prime example is Saxon, so it's not as hard here.
yeah,
But it's just not quite up to the level of the verses.
yeah. But then we come to, I think, one of the most underrated songs ever when it comes to
a very
Nightwish.
important track for me personally.
Yeah, and you can tell the story we're talking about, of course, of Crownless.
Exactly, Crownless.
Go ahead.
All right, Crownless. Needless to say, the intro is fucking awesome. It's just an awesome intro, great riffing, and the song all over the place is just great. Throughout the entire song, I love it personally.
Yeah.
But however, it was back in the day when I read somewhere, probably a magazine, or maybe one of the rare occasions I actually went online, took half an hour to load one page and read an interview.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Maybe.
was the time, yeah.
Yeah. But it's more likely that it was in a magazine or something. Where I read, okay, Holopainen studied whatever, Turun studied whatever, and they all were studied musicians. But with Empu, there was when it came to his musical education, it just read almost literally, when I was 13 years old, I started playing guitar in my first band. Period. That was his musical
For
education.
the reason to get girls.
Well, that was not in that interview I read.
Okay.
But however, it was like, okay, he just started in a band, so he's self-taught. And I was like, well, okay, well, if he could do it, then I can do it. And that's what made me pick up the guitar.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I couldn't afford taking guitar classes or whatever. So I was just, that was giving me hopes to eventually become a musician of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not half as good as he was back then. Now, I still, I'm not the best guitarist in the world whatsoever. No, not by far. And thank God I never attempted to play this song, actually.
Really? Never?
Never.
Oh.
Not one single time. Because I was scared of it, and I'm still scared of it today. Because, you know, after practicing guitar for so many years now, if I still can't pull that off, that would be fuck disappointing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but
I understand it.
But this song encouraged me to pick up the guitar and start playing.
And this is such a mighty song,
Yeah.
and No Time to Breathe.
No, it's just full on blasting. It's just so upbeat and so uplifting. And
Absolutely amazing, and as I said, absolutely underrated. and they never played it live. Also,
Probably because it's hard to play. I don't know. I can't
know
judge.
they have played it live, but just a few times, and there are no videos or something existed. If I'm wrong, just give me the link in the comments, of course. But I have done a Crownless reaction video many months or a year ago, and I think we have this discussion about did they play it live, and I think someone told me a few times, but that was it. And maybe because it's too difficult to play. I can't imagine.
I don't know.
I have no
It
idea.
doesn't sound that hard to play.
No.
Now that I do know how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but a great track.
Yeah. They for damn sure have their reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, it leaves us on a high note with Crownless. It's like high energy, very powerful song. And again, great thought went into the track listing on this record. And it leads us to probably my all-time favorite Nightwish song.
Yeah.
Maybe I will say that about a couple other songs as well.
Yeah,
we'll
but
get to later
it
albums.
is in the top.
It is definitely in my top 5 Nightwish tracks. And it's Deep Silent Complete.
Yeah.
And it was probably the first melody I ever played on an electric guitar.
Yeah.
Because it made sense to me. After practicing it on an acoustic guitar, and it just, an acoustic guitar has its properties that are sounding perfect in some places, but with something like that, it just needed that, And since I could play it once I got my first electric guitar, that was just the first thing I played on there.
Yeah. Great song. There's not happening so many things, and that's the good
but it's
thing.
floaty. It's just moody. It's just beautiful.
Beautiful. It's the perfect word, because this song just works in a weird way, because it doesn't
just
happen.
Captures this emotion.
Yeah.
This song is pure emotion.
Yeah, and this is a great song. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that a lot in the reaction video.
Oh right, we did a reaction. Oh yeah.
It's only a half hour long, so if you haven't watched it, it's getting really funny, especially in the end. and then to, I think, a really important song for the whole Nightwish history, Dead Boy's Poem. I just love that they played it live again. That was a song I was hoping for, because while this song is till this day also so beautiful and deep, also from the meaning and the emotion and sound-wise beautiful, the build-up, the element with the young boy speaking.
By the way, he did a great
job, and with this beautiful piano melody. This is pure Nightwish.
Yeah. This is the essence, basically.
Absolutely. This is, I think, one of the most important Nightwish tracks from getting to Nightwish and what it's all about. Also for Thomas as a songwriter. Yeah. I think that is really a perfect example for the emotion side of Nightwish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a really special one.
Yeah.
Absolutely so great. And
yeah, there's hardly much else to say about it, because
it's absolutely perfect.
I mean, just listen to the fucking song.
I think everybody who is at the point of watching this video, I think, is also a big Nightwish fan, and we don't have to talk about it. Everybody knows how absolutely fantastic this one is.
Yeah,
and
it's like we're sounding like the greatest douchebags on earth, just praising this record like crazy.
Yeah, but it is.
But that's just the way it is. I just love this record to this day.
I would do commercial for free the whole time.
Yeah.
And I do. Buy the Wishmaster album by Nightwish.
Yeah, if you haven't bought it
if you
like 20 years ago, buy it now.
Now you can listen to it everywhere. Then the last song, that was also when Thomas started writing longer songs, especially in the end of the albums. Phantasmic.
Yeah. First time listening to this record, I didn't like that track at all. Okay. I was like, okay, where's this voice? Where's this voice? Like, because, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just because since this was my first contact with Nightwish and I fell in love with Taya's voice back in the day, I was missing her voice in this track. It was like almost getting homesick, if you will. It's like I was missing her.
Yeah.
But however, falling in love or this being in love feeling changes to just loving the piece of art that's there, and then I could finally listen to the track as it is and as a song. It's fucking great, and especially the flute bits.
Yeah.
As funny as that may sound,
Yeah.
I, the greatest criticizer of flute sounds in Nightwish, like the flute bits because, again, it's a chosen keyboard sound and it doesn't sound like the real deal.
Yeah, and also the main sound of the whole song, the harpsy sound of the keyboard.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this sound. He knew that. But it's difficult to put that in a song that it works. I know that myself. Yeah. It's difficult.
But he made it work.
Perfect. It is so great. But it's not easy to have such kind of a sound to work so well over such a long track. I think it is about 8 minutes or something. I'm not sure.
Really, is it that long?
It has 3 parts, and live they also played 1 part, and that was also 3.5 minutes. So I think I don't know the length of the song. Honestly, I don't know it, and it doesn't show me here on the CD. But something around this, and yeah, great song, and I think also great track to end the album.
Yeah.
Because
again, the track list is just
perfect.
Perfect. They just thought it through, start to finish.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And Phantasmic has also this roller coaster thing. It is really a high tempo power number, but it has also these more silent parts, and then the build up again in this massive ending.
Yeah. Which leaves you wanting more. Which keeps you pressing that play button over again. And I mean, back in the day, you had to do that. Looping was a hard thing to do for our CD players back in the day. So
that was not so easy. And I think also in this Taya's vocal performance is really operatic and really on the not on the limit, but it is just like really high energy and
she just nailed it.
Absolutely.
She just nailed it to the point.
Absolutely.
It was
insane.
I mean, throughout the entire album, her vocal performance is fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked on the Angels Fall First that she had this little shiver.
Yeah.
And was a little insecure, or seemed a little insecure, in her voice, but that went away with Oceanborn. But with this record, it was the first time that she was full on confident.
Yeah.
And you can clearly tell with what she's doing, especially those staccato parts, like for example in Wishmaster, that all comes from your diaphragm. Yeah. It's like she hardly did that before, except Passion and the Opera on Oceanborn.
Yeah.
But you have that on this record a little more, and it's just so good to hear that, man. And it's, as hard as that may sound, probably the last record that, from my standpoint or what I'm feeling or guessing, it was the last album that Tarja Turunen had really a good time or fun being in Nightwish. After this record, it feels like it became a habit or a job.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, but this was the fun bit. She was
all in. I think so. I think that's a thing we can talk about in the next video with Century Child, because it included all these problems and everything.
We never talked about that before. It's happening for the first time on camera.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because it's really important. Also, I think I wanted to say for the Wishmaster album that it's so great that there is no bonus track on it, because that was could ruin it because of the great set list on it. So I'm a fan of bonus tracks, and I want to get every piece of material I can get, of course. Yeah. But in this one, it's good that there is no bonus track on it. I know in the version that came out a bit later there were Sleepwalker on it as a bonus track, but that doesn't fit. The song is okay. It's nothing so special, but
leave the track list as it is.
Yes. Also on the newer version, I think I also have a Wishmaster version with the bonus track on it, but I prefer always this. I never use the other CD because it's important to leave this album exactly this way. Perfect album.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much a perfect album.
Yeah. For this time.
This time the rating is fairly easy. It's a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
And we couldn't rate the other albums.
Yeah, but this is a 10 out of 10. And I also think that when this CD came out again, I fell in love.
Yeah, instantly. Right away, all over again.
That has nothing to do with the time or that I was younger or something.
Well,
and that makes it stronger.
Yeah, that makes the feeling even stronger.
Even stronger, of course. And that I wasn't into metal or something. And
well, I was.
But I think if Nightwish put out a new CD and sounded like this with such kind of songs, I would fall in love from the very first second.
From the get-go. It's just a good record, period.
Yeah.
And again, I hopefully stressed that enough already, but I'm not the biggest Nightwish fan out there.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, I was.
Oh.
It was like I forgot about the other records I had on my shelf. I completely forgot about them for at least a month or two, or maybe even 3 months. I kept playing this album over and over.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it is just a good record. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
On any given scale.
Yeah, I think I've listened to it really for months to this album, and my mother had to fall in love also, because if she didn't,
she would have gone mad.
Yes.
So
that's a true story. That is no joke. That was exactly this way. I was listening it from the time I went from school, put it out from my CD player into my other CD player, and then it goes like this. Okay, I changed then with the other albums, but I think I listened to Nightwish in 3-4 months without listening to any other band. I think that happened. Crazy.
He has an obsession.
At this time, definitely. I was in love. I had a crush. I had done.
But
everything.
I'm so glad that I didn't have an original copy, because it's fallen out.
Yeah, it's broken and it has to be.
Because of this. Yeah, this is why I'm glad that I didn't have the original copy, because to this day I don't like this picture of Tarja Turunen.
Yeah, it's not her best.
No.
And also Yuka without his bandana feels wrong.
Looks god awful, to be exact.
Yeah, I don't want to be so mean.
I mean, yes, I know.
Yeah.
But I don't have a reason to hold back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's gonna watch this video anyway. He knows why he put on that bandana.
Yeah.
He just knows.
Yeah.
I mean, he has probably seen this picture and decided afterwards to put on a bandana. I don't know. But
I think he had the bandana before also on concerts.
Anyway, but I don't think that I would have fallen in love with Nightwish as hard if I saw that the singer is looking like this, which she didn't. She didn't look like that. I mean, there's other pictures and
also with these hair extensions and something.
I mean, she's a very beautiful woman.
Absolutely.
And even more so she was back in the day, but this picture just didn't do her justice.
Yeah.
And
I was in love with her too. Also, with everything, and also this album.
Thank God there was no social media back then. Otherwise, we would have posted love letters to Tarja Turunen over and over constantly.
That would be so awful. But this album is also important because I think it's my inspiration also to learn an instrument like keyboards, because of these great keyboard sounds. What a sentence.
There you have it, man.
Yeah, Wishmaster is the inspiration for making music by yourself when it comes to us. And I think there are many people out there who have the same feeling.
Hopefully.
And also when at this time so many bands were created with female vocals who trying to be in the direction of Nightwish. And that
failed miserably.
Yeah, but that speaks for itself. Yeah. That if someone tries, I don't want to say copy, but go into the direction, that is the biggest compliment you can get.
Yeah. But however, again, I'm not the biggest Nightwish fan. Still, I don't think that other bands can even get close to what Nightwish was doing or is doing nowadays. Even though I'm not too familiar with the more recent albums of Nightwish and all that good jazz, but you know, they're a household name, and righteously so.
Yeah.
You know? But one thing we forgot in our rating.
Yeah.
So now we have three albums.
This is number one.
This is so clearly number one, man.
The other both are still together on place 2.
Yeah.
We will
close second.
Yeah.
No, not close second.
No.
It's my favorite out of those 3 albums by far.
Yeah.
But again, given the fact that I have nostalgia for this record and a lot of it.
Absolutely. That's. Yeah, but maybe you have some same experiences also, maybe with inspiration or learning instrument, maybe not from the Wishmaster album, but maybe from other albums, because I think many people have this idea, and that is why Nightwish is so important, because they are inspiring.
Yeah.
And this is cool, and hopefully till this day for young people who listen to Nightwish and starting to play an instrument, trying to writing songs, this is, I think, also for a band the biggest compliment ever. If someone says, "I was inspired by you to making music," I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Most definitely. But again, if you don't hold this album in highest regards for what reason ever, and you still consider yourself a Nightwish fan, I dare you to listen to it on a continuous loop for a month.
Yeah.
And then tell us that those keyboard sounds do not still hold up.
Yeah. Yeah,
they still hold up.
Yeah, it's just what Nightwish is all about for me. And I know.
Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the orchestra.
Of course, I was blown away when once really came out. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was unheard of before.
Unbelievable. We will talk about that, of course, in the Once review. Because it was a crazy time, and but we will talk about that in this. As next we will do Stormchild. This is going to be also, I think, a very long video, because I have a lot on my mind about this album. I think one, if not the most important album in my life. But I talk about that, or we talk about that in the other video. In the meanwhile, you can tell me your thoughts in the comments as always. And
leave likes or dislikes if you don't like it. But we prefer likes.
Yeah, but it's up to you.
Subscribe, hit the notification bell,
and
discuss in the comments, and click on the next video of this dude. Because, come on, admit it, you love him.
Yes.
And he loves you too.
Yeah. The funny thing is that is really true, yeah. Because I like every comment, and that is not something I just say, because I think it's so cool that someone even gives me a comment. It doesn't matter what stands there. It could.
So he reacts to music.
Yeah.
And you're reacting to him. So you enjoy his reaction, he enjoys yours.
Yeah. I never thought that this will happen. Honestly, so this is a true story, and with that said, have a great day, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully we see us the next time.
I'm Phil.
I'm the Stormchild. Bye.